Hello everyone, this is Sushri, your host is back with another episode of Sagacy. So let's begin. What does a marriage mean to a woman? How a woman's life changes more than a man's life after marriage? We never asked this question at that period. To be precise, we don't think that for our daughters or sisters. To interpret anything, we must get through the cases first. So let's start with the cases that will justify every philosophy. Komal, the only girl of her parents and a darling daughter. She got a marriage proposal, and at that time there were no demands. Once their date was fixed, they started demanding almost everything. The money her parents spent on her wedding, along with all the gifts they demanded, summed up to 1 crore. Yes, it was around 1 crore. After a few days later, when she went with her husband to US, and to be clear, her husband was an IT professional, and at that time, means around 4 years back, he earned $65,000. That's in Indian currency is approximately 35 lakhs per year. But still, he didn't stop demanding. He wanted her parents to buy him a car in US, her parents' house on his name in India, and all he could ask for. Not giving his wife an equal status, rather than treating her just like a maid. And the day Komal decided enough is enough, I won't ask them for more, he left her alone to die in that house locked up, without food and water. She survived for 4 days without food and water, and at last, when she had nothing left, she called the women's shelter in US. They helped her out, and from there she called her parents and narrated everything. Now she has called off her marriage, and thankfully she survived. Just this story helps us to understand what a greedy man can be like. What marriage can turn to even in wealthy families. He earned that much, still he demanded. Just want to ask all those men out there who think this is a ritual and must be followed, well, then what are you proud of being born as a man? You marry a woman and you think all her belongings, all her parents' belongings is yours. Well, didn't your parents teach you to earn a living by yourself? Gave you everything that they didn't to their girl child. So you could ask for dowry. Great, isn't it? Not saying that it's the only problem of the guy and the guy's family, but also of the girl and her family. But still, there are many things to be corrected. Dowry is the main reason for many crimes like domestic violence, girl child abortion, and murder. Domestic violence is just a way to add on from the bride's parents. Torture her and you will get all you want, no matter who initiates the process. The thing that matters is who continues it. A man needs to hit women to show how manly he is. Isn't that right? Because we never teach them the right thing. It's that simple. The sex ratio's difference is one of its reasons. Parents fear having a girl because they would have to pay for the dowry and they fear that they cannot afford it. It's a sad reality, but still it's a reality. They don't think the way around because again they fear of that society, their dignity and respect in the society, which is generally concerning with a daughter and not with a son. Not saying this just like that. The reason is simple. If it had anything to do with the son, then they wouldn't have been asking for dowry again and again, and that didn't hurt their respect in the society. We have had cases of burned daughters because of dowry, and it's one in every hour as a fact. Say, We never change and we will never change. And why it's so? Because we don't want to. It's our problem, really. A daughter's problem and her parents' problem. More than the guy's problem. Guy's family's problem. The case we discussed is different. They loved their daughter, had given her a good life, good education, and still she suffered. Why? Because I think the people bid for her wasn't told that she is not a thing but a person, a woman. Her fault was that even she didn't deny it. She didn't take a stand for herself and her parents. She knew and all they knew that the family wasn't respecting them, but still they thought of their society's reputation. How many of us here live for the society's image? Must have been many. It's not about education, it's not about the life you have spent, where you come from, how have been you brought up. Nothing really matters in this crime. Cannot say it's about educating girls or it's enough educating them, because it's not. The next case will clear that. Nishana, a PhD scholar and a lecturer in the American Institute of Madurai, was a victim of dowry. She got a proposal from a wealthy family in Madurai, and both the families were really happy, at least at the first. A real double-faced family. After a few days of marriage, they demanded her parents of a car. Her father didn't deny but said to wait. After a few days, they started cursing Nishana for her face and demanded a plastic surgery. Real disgusting fact. To my amaze, her parents did take her for the plastic surgery. And after that also, her in-laws weren't at ease. Seriously, no one thought of her, not even her parents. She was literate enough. Her father and mother were also educated. Still, it did happen. The problem is, our mothers say those words before leaving, to adjust and compromise, and do not just come back home for simple matters or even when you are about to die. I'm just thinking if the mother of the son would say the same words to her son. Well, coming back to the case, Nishana couldn't control anymore and she committed suicide. Of course, anyone would do in her situation. In my view, it was a murder though. Yes, this happened when you look around and see people don't care and all they care is about their family's reputation and honor. Just asking, what's the honor when it forces someone to give up and kill the self? Does this not bring any shame to the family or both? Or it doesn't feel like one? A woman is treated like that. Those women who don't teach their son to keep the respect of a woman. And what do you think? If he's torturing his wife for materials, then he's respecting you, the mother, as a woman. Do you think so? And if you think so, then you are a definite fool. We lost Nishana. Unfortunately, she lost her life, which could have been a lot more beautiful one. She was independent, intelligent, and self-sufficient. What she got isn't what she deserved. This case really amazes me. And now I know the reason for one death in every 1 hour each day. Another case also amazes me. A girl from a small village of Punjab, Paramjit Kaur, another victim. Her to-be husband demanded money to go to Australia and her parents agreed on the expenses of both. But it didn't happen. Her husband went along with a promise that she will be called after he settles down there. It didn't happen neither. He never came back, nor did he call her or replied her. After 3 long years, he wants to give her divorce online so that he can marry someone in that country from that country. Behind, his family tortured her for 3 years and then pushed her to get out of their house. All the costs of her family bear for her good and stable future were more than 15 lakhs. And how I think that this money could have helped her. After looking at these numbers, just thinking, is this a bidding auction or a marriage? To me, it seems more of a bidding option than a marriage where parents sell their daughters and they also pay the price for it. Yeah, a total loss-loss situation for one side and a total win-win situation for the other side. Not insulting anyone here, I guess they are more likely to insult themselves. In Punjab, there have been more than 30,000 dowry cases per year. The prominent reason has been for foreign travel expenses. They marry girls and torture them to get the money for their expenses and then again torture them for life. Now we know women for them are just a roadway to their goals. It hurts, but still it's a reality. A girl leaves her family for marriage. A girl gives her soul to that man she is married to. She works for his house day and night, takes care of his parents like her parents, and what she gets in return is the curse, taunt, and a lifetime cage. Then also, she never thinks of punishing them even in her mind. Why is the question? And I think it will remain to be a question for till the time it ends. We are unable to stop it even with knowledge. We all know dowry is a punishable offense. You can get arrested and if proven guilty, minimum of 5 years of imprisonment and the value of the dowry shall be returned. Do you know what begins with the legalities? You can go and see those police stations and you can see the almirah, fridge, AC, furnitures, how they are gathered and just put it in like a dustbin yard. They all have been there kept till the time it decomposes. This has been the reality, the lives of girls, or should I say, daughters. We don't want to be the burden of our parents. Surely, this must be the heart of every daughter. But we do feel the pressure all the time from our families, society, relationships. We don't have anywhere to go really. If we get one chance to take a stand, then we will. There have been many fierce women once they took it on to their own hands. We can be too. And everybody knows women fight with honor and respectfully. We just want our lives as much as any man would do. Educate them, give them the freedom to decide for themselves, give them the freedom to speak, give them the freedom to choose. Before all this, give them the proper knowledge of the right and the wrong and the consequences. Make yourself strong enough to see your daughter fall and make yourself strong enough to deny for your daughter the moment it feels wrong without thinking of a present reputation than the future one. Your daughter is not a thing that anyone can bid for her. Teach them all who does this. These all will together make them not to suffer and will make you a role model for them. The next is the case of such a daughter, or should I call her a warrior. She sets the example of being one. Rani Tripathi, a girl from Mumbai, fought against the dowry demanded by her to-be-in-laws. The same story again goes on. When the date of the marriage came near, they started to have demands, and she at first didn't know this thing. She overheard her parents' and brother's conversation and asked many questions, as a girl will do, as a daughter will do, as a self-righteous girl will do. Then she thought of many things, and one was the image. Cards have been distributed, everyone knows about the marriage, and if it breaks now, then it will be difficult for her and her family to live in the society. But here's an exception. This wasn't her prime thought. She thought of the after effects. She knew that a man's greed can never be satisfied, no matter how much they give them, and she also knew that if she goes to that house, then how her life is going to be till the time she dies. She convinced herself and thought of a plan to expose them with a proof because she can just let them go. She, with the help of her family, recorded the conversation and put it on the social media. NTV took their story to their channel and promoted it. Because of her fearless and bold act, impressed by her action, she got a proposal by a good man on the channel itself, and now she is married and happy with a new family. Not all girls have the same thinking, I suppose, because if the answer wouldn't have been yes, then there would not have been this much of cases. We find these more issues in less established capitals, villages, and least in the northern states. There are reasons. The reasons are more clear. We see marriage as a status symbol rather than a ritual or its real meaning of aligning two souls and two families into one. These are the things that are practiced in these less established capitals, villages, and almost everywhere except the northern states. Sikkim, Shimla, those are the states which have their own practices. There they have simple marriage rituals, all the bride's equipments, or you can say requirements to come from her to be in-laws' home. All these have helped them to not see these many girls or daughters dying or tortured for dowry. There are ways by which we can have this crime dead. But the thing is, are we wanting to? I have been saying this all this time. Are we willing to? Are we wanting this to change? Poor are the most to suffer. Because of the marriage of their girls, they take excess of loan and that they can never pay back. And after realizing this fact, they just give up their lives. Mostly farmers. After that also, their daughters don't live a happy life, but die every second in that other house. They feel like a curse to their own family and live in the burden of their own life because they can't even die. Actually, the thing is, poor people are suffering because of the wealthy and the middle class families, because the way they marry their daughters affects them. It becomes a status symbol because of them only. They feel embarrassed if they don't do the same or if they don't match the same level, so they take the loans and then it becomes a burden for themselves. Solutions are simple and in front of our eyes. Are we willing to see it? We actually hear this all the time. If you deny this, then you are betraying yourself. The case of Tarvinder Kaur, which actually gave us the law for dowry, a more specific one, the one terrible case which had all the other stories to speak with it. That year you saw 300 daughters burned alive that were reported. Parents crying over their dead daughter's burned body, in-laws bribing the constables to not file the case. Seeing the same body, they don't even react, actually. And of course, why will they? They killed that girl and brutally assaulted her, What more to be expected out of them? Actually, that's not the true. Yes, the murder is true, and burning someone alive is the scariest death anyone can have, but didn't they actually already had seen the scariest days living in that cruel house? It means more to us. It means more to the women of the nation. The way you marry your daughter or your sister or anyone is actually the root of that future. Yes, the root. And it should be strong enough to build on. Now you decide how you are going to marry your daughter or your sister or anyone, because it totally depends on you and on that girl. That's all. With this, I'm ending this episode. Stay tuned to Asira for daily updates. I'm Sushri, your host, signing off.